In 2007, Gordon Ramsay visited the Curry Lounge in Nottingham, England. By that time, curry was well established as the UK's favourite dish. Nottingham, known for the Robin Hood legend, became a bit of a culinary hotspot, with more restaurants per square mile than anywhere else in Britain. This is especially true for Indian food. At that time, there were 18 curry restaurants in the centre of Nottingham. Arfan Razak, better known as Raz, opened the Curry Lounge. Raz, a former salesman with zero background in the restaurant industry, decided to spend £500,000 on a lavish renovation budget in an attempt to break into the local market.
From various places.
It looks fucking ghastly.
Since local competition is fierce, he's also brought in some of the top chefs from India.
Built by me, created by me, so it's my baby. If someone says your baby is dirty, I'll kick it out.
In fact, he's almost tried to do too many things at once in the year the restaurant's been open. The Curry Lounge has an overcomplicated menu and a team of experienced chefs who are struggling to cook it.
Thousands of years of Indian culture straight out the window.
Raz's calculations of what was realistically achievable were clearly off, as the restaurant was burning through £3,000 a week around the time of Gordon's arrival. Gordon notices on the window that the restaurant won an award, Best Indian Restaurant. Wow, he thinks, but in small print it says runner-up. As he enters, he's greeted by Raz, and is also a little taken aback at the decor. Raz tells him he was inspired by numerous different sources when coming up with the design. Gordon tells him it looks ghastly, and takes note of what he perceives as an excessive number of television screens on the walls.
How many screens have you got?
We've got 7 in total.
You don't go to a restaurant to watch television.
At the table, he's greeted by the head waitress. She tells him about the create your own curry menu concept. Gordon decides to test them by ordering a DIY hot chicken korma with prawns, along with a sea bass. Cooking is executive chef Zair Khan, with 20 years of experience working in some of the finest hotels in India. He was brought over by Raz to head the kitchen at the Curry Lounge. At the table, the first thing to arrive is the naan bread. It's served on a metal vertical stand that Gordon thinks looks like a hanging pair of underpants. Raz defends the use of it, saying it is a space saver, taking up far less space than on a plate on the table. Gordon jokes it's great when you're sat with a girlfriend and don't want to talk to her.
Say, sweetheart.
Hello.
Fuck off. Oh no, not you. Yeah. Tash, how are you?
I'm fine.
Next up is the sea bass, but it is tasteless with no seasoning. The DIY curry is greasy with a layer of oil and the chicken is dry. After his disappointing lunch, Gordon heads to the kitchen to have a word with the man who just made his food. Ramsay is introduced to Khan by Raz, and immediately takes note of his immaculate appearance.
You are the cleanest chef I've ever seen in my entire life.
Thank you.
Immaculate.
Thank you.
After the introduction, Gordon tells Khan his honest opinion of the food. It was bland and lacked any personality. To him, it was a type of curry you could get just about anywhere. Both Raz and Khan get defensive hearing this. Khan says he has to accommodate the large menu, with customers' constant customizations. Raz says they have regulars who love coming in. Gordon tells them he'll have to observe the dinner service later to get the full picture. That evening, Gordon returns. It's Friday night, and the only time of the week the place is packed. With the volume of diners, the kitchen struggles since the customers can essentially order any sort of combination they desire. No one sticks to the menu. They can just order whatever they want. This amount of complexity means the food takes a long time to serve, as the customers create all sorts of wild combinations. Some jackass orders a garlic, coconut, and chili naan, for example. Raz once again defends this, saying if the customer wants it, they can have it. Despite having hundreds of DIY curry combinations to choose from, that evening's customers rate the food as just average, with none of them saying they would return in the future. All style and no substance, was how one diner put it. After a rough day, Gordon wishes the entire staff a good night, and tells them he'll see them bright and early the next morning. Raz, meanwhile, looks a little bit stressed, and it's only day one.
I'll leave it there. I'm going to go for a fag. See you later.
On Saturday morning, Gordon sits down with Raz to go over the day's schedule. The first order of business is removing the somewhat deceptively worded Best Indian Restaurant decal from the window. Gordon starts scraping off the letters, and after some reluctance, Raz joins in. After the windows are all cleaned up, Gordon can turn his attention to the main problem, the food. He discovers in the kitchen that 3 main stocks provide the basis for all the curries, which is the reason why the 100+ curry combinations end up tasting the same. It gets worse. Gordon spots the use of store-bought curry paste and frozen samosas. The only freshly prepared food in the kitchen is the naan bread. Imagine how the staff feels being flown in from India just to fry frozen samosas. What a waste of talent, Gordon notes. Ramsay asks Khan to cook every dish on the menu and then gets the servers to lay it out in the dining area for all to see. He asks the waitstaff to taste the food while blindfolded. None of them can tell one dish from another, hence they are unable to identify what any of the dishes are, except the chips, of course. Gordon tells Raz his generous spirit is destroying the ambition of the restaurant, but also, in particular, the ambition of his head waitress, who dislikes not fully knowing what's all on the menu. Gordon realizes that Khan's true passion has been smothered conforming to Raz's deluded create-your-own-curry dream. He knows he has to get Khan's enthusiasm back by creating a new, made-from-scratch menu. The following day, they both head to Khan's local co-op market. Gordon challenges Khan to add a regional specialty dish from his home in Rajasthan to the menu. Khan chooses to make an authentic lamb korma dish that will be showcased on the menu as the evening's special dish. Additionally, Gordon decides that for the night's service, he'll rip up the DIY curry menu. Instead, he wants all attention on promoting Khan's lamb korma special for the evening. To get his point across, he calls in the front of house staff and explains to them about the special dish for the night. He tells them they should promote the special to the customers. Back in the kitchen, Khan walks Gordon through how to cook his lamb korma. The lamb is slow cooked on the bone. Gordon takes a bite of the final product and says it is perfect and tastes absolutely delicious. The problem is, though, an hour into service, none of the customers have ordered the special. Gordon speaks to a table of customers who tell him they hadn't even been told about it. Despite Gordon telling the staff to promote the special, none of them have been doing so far. A frustrated Gordon pulls Raz aside. He tells him he must get his staff on board and push the special for the evening. As Ramsay observes Raz, he doesn't get the impression that he's doing enough to convince his staff or the customers to try out Khan's special. Since Raz isn't getting it done, Gordon decides to bring out the man himself, Chef Khan, to promote his own special directly to the customers.
Yeah. You look great. You look great. Yeah, great. It's Nottingham, not Bollywood. Right.
So, Chef Khan does, and the customers love it. You can really see Khan's passion shine through when he talks about his food with the diners. Gordon even tells Khan he's too handsome to be a chef.
Bollywood superstar.
No, come on,
Seriously.
you are pulling my leg.
From a porn movie.
Oh, shit.
Now that the menu has been revamped, Gordon tackles the next challenge. He realizes that there is a strong divide between the front of the house and the kitchen at the Curry Lounge. As such, he takes them for a team-building cricket game played against a local team. Gordon ties one of Raz's hands behind his back as an analogy to what his staff has to go through with his huge menu. With Raz at bat, Gordon tells the bowler to bowl it as fast as possible. Raz slaps the ball right towards Gordon, even causing him to fall over. Ouch, those cricket balls hurt even more than getting hit by a baseball. Raz is actually a pretty good batter, connecting on quite a few despite having one hand tied back. Perhaps he should have aimed to become a professional cricketer instead of a restaurateur. Overall, though, the game is successful at uniting the staff, both front and back of the house, together as one. But the next day, Gordon discovers the front of house meeting without the kitchen staff. Gordon tells Raz that he must keep the team as one, not split between the two if the restaurant is to succeed. Back in the kitchen, Gordon's next idea is to introduce a tiffin box lunch delivery service to local office buildings. Tiffin boxes are delivered to office workers every day all over Mumbai. Gordon reasons why not have a similar system set up in Nottingham. They will be filled with curry, rice, vegetables, and a bit of naan, all for a $5. After the tiffin boxes are prepared, the whole group heads out to the local office buildings to try to sell the concept to the staff.
Exciting lunch. Now, the average person here earns between 80 and 100 grand a year. We're charging.
Nervous laughter there. The 40 lunches were sold out in 5 minutes. They come back to do more, and the staff is very impressed with the overall reception. Within a few months, they could be doing 250 to 300 lunches a day, Gordon reckons. For the relaunch, Gordon calls in Alfred Prasad, the youngest Indian chef to win a Michelin star to help with the relaunch. For the relaunch night, they are offering a new streamlined menu that will focus on authentic dishes based on the cook's regional backgrounds. Featuring dishes such as mutton chops grilled in the tandoor from the north of Pakistan, along with grilled lamb chops from Hyderabad, and finally Gordon's favorite, Punjabi Murg Makhni. As such, the new menu offers dishes from northern regions of India and Pakistan, and all of them are £10 or under. As one final condition though, Gordon says that those ghastly-looking naan stands have got to go. The whole team gets to taste the new menu and immediately falls in love with the new items. Khan, however, is slightly displeased with the menu, saying there are regions not represented. Gordon thinks he is just jealous that Albert is 10 years younger than him. After some reluctance, he gets Khan back on board and fully behind the relaunch. To create some buzz in town about the relaunch of the Curry Lounge, Gordon has brought some teenage girls as Bollywood dancers.
Let's go.
You remind me of
Iffy.
one of my wives, actually.
One of my wives? What's that supposed to mean?
Gordon, Raz, Khan, and the rest of the staff take to the streets with the Bollywood dancers to get the word out about the new and improved Curry Lounge. The dancers put on a performance while the staff members hand out samples of the food to the audience. Overall, it is a big hit with the locals. Gordon doesn't do a renovation makeover on the restaurant as he usually does, as the place is only a year old, but he does order the nightclub-style lighting to be turned down and the TVs playing the Bollywood movies on repeat to be turned off for the evening. Since this is the first Indian restaurant Gordon has ever helped out, he has invited a local curry expert in to sample the new menu, judging them on their regional authenticity. As the night gets underway, the impressions from the customers are favorable, in particular enjoying the new regional dishes. There are a few customers who request customizations to items on the menu, but this time, Raz doesn't give in. He refuses to go back to his old ways, allowing the customers to make whatever dish they want. The critic loves the majority of the food, but has some issues with a dry chicken dish. Considering it is the first night of a new menu, some hiccups are to be expected. Overall, the relaunch is successful. They have grossed over £3,000 in revenue for the evening. What happened next at the Curry Lounge? Returning a month later, Gordon has hopes that Raz has not slipped back to his old ways. As he enters for a second time, he's greeted by both Khan and Raz. Raz tells Gordon that the restaurant is now making money for the first time. In fact, that day it is so busy that he can't get a table, being forced to order a tiffin box and sit on the sidelines instead. So far, so good, Gordon thinks. But then he notices that the naan stands are back. He can't believe that Raz has started using them again. To him, they look like a metallic pair of deer antlers. Gordon tells Raz this time he's not throwing them in the bin because he knows Raz will go fish them out the moment he leaves. Instead, they are going to a local scrapyard. The episode ends with the stands getting scrapped for 60 pence on the kilo. Reviews for the Curry Lounge post-Kitchen Nightmares were mostly favorable for the most part. This reviewer, who had been previously put off trying the Curry Lounge by the amount of televisions, decided to give it a shot after Kitchen Nightmares. She said the food, while on the expensive side, was extremely good. Another reviewer said that fortunately, the non-antlers were no longer there, thank goodness. Other than also noting the unusual number of plasma televisions on the wall, she said overall, she enjoyed the food and the service. The restaurant received a special commendation during the 2009 British Curry Awards, as well as other notable achievements, such as breaking a world record for the tallest stack of papadum. In an act of philanthropy, Raz organized a special dinner event at the Curry Lounge, inviting 100 local dignitaries to participate. All proceeds from the event were destined for the Marines Benevolent Fund, reflecting Raz's dedication not only to the culinary arts, but also to support the 40 Commando Royal Marines, who had recently returned from demanding tours abroad. Raz extends his commitment to the military by inviting the Marines Catering Corps to his Nottingham restaurant for comprehensive week-long culinary training. He taught them how to prepare a variety of Indian dishes, enhancing their skills so they can deliver quality meals anywhere in the world. The Curry Lounge, which had been recognized as the best Indian venue in the East Midlands at the English Curry Awards, took on an exciting challenge. During the filming of the Bollywood blockbuster Teri Mere Kahini, the restaurant served 3 meals a day to the cast and crew, including the renowned Bollywood star Priyanka Chopra. As the film's production unfolded over 3 weeks around Nottingham and Stratford-upon-Avon, the Curry Lounge's dedication to providing a taste of home was warmly received, adding a special touch to the filming experience. Highlighting the glamour, a Ferrari 458 was brought in for a photo shoot in front of the restaurant, attracting attention and adding to the buzz. Things were going well as Raz was living a rock star lifestyle, with everything seemingly going his way. He even appeared on the UK TV show The Secret Millionaire in 2012. The premise of the show sees millionaires go incognito in impoverished communities and pledge to donate tens of thousands of pounds. At the start of the episode, Raz is unaware of where in the country he is going to be sent to go undercover. To his surprise, they send him to Oxford.
It's a bit of a surprise if we're going to Oxford, because I always assume Oxford to be quite affluent.
They put him up in a tiny flat above an off-license. He's going to spend the next 8 days living there. He's assigned to a charity that helps those with disabilities. His task will be helping out in the kitchen, posing as a taxi driver.
How's it going? I've got people asking.
Nearly there.
What do you actually do for a living? I mean, you don't cook.
I'm a taxi driver.
He cooks up a curry for lunch for all the people at the charity that day. Following that, he heads to another charity called Restore, which helps people with a range of mental health problems learn new skills. For him, this one hits close to home, as his mother has had depression for many years. Following that, he heads to the Oxford Community Soup Kitchen, run by Icelyn Smith, an incredible then 82-year-old woman who had served hot meals to those in need for decades. It's a great episode, and I encourage you to check out the full version on YouTube if you want to learn more about Raz's backstory. Anyway, in the end, after revealing his true identity to the people he meets, he donates £50,000 to the 3 charities. Icelyn Smith would go on to continue serving meals for another decade, even through COVID, until her passing in 2022 at the age of 92. Her story is incredible, and she volunteered so much for so long. She was even awarded Member of the Order of the British Empire, hence the MBE behind her name. This is awarded for an outstanding achievement or service to the community. In 2013, a year after the Secret Millionaire episode, the Soup Kitchen became a charity, the Icelyn Smith Foundation. Raz received positive praise for raising the issue of mental health awareness during his stay in Oxford. He was interviewed by Priya Mulji not long after his appearance on the show. Raz says in the interview that people are often afraid to speak out about mental health issues in the UK's Asian community. In an interview with the Oxford Mail, Raz says he was humbled by his visit to the 3 charities. Upon reflection, only wished that such services had been available for his mother and him when he was younger. He went on to say in another interview that his mother suffered from depression for years, but they didn't talk about it. That was just how it was then. In 2013, Raz devoted more time to creating cooking videos, such as this one called Learn How to Cook This Classic Goan Prawn Curry with Arfan Razak, Raz, from the Curry Lounge in Nottingham. He liked making cooking videos so much that he created his own YouTube channel in 2013 with many of his videos of him cooking classic dishes, such as a proper chicken curry. It comes as a surprise then why in 2014 Raz decided to take a break from the restaurant world, as he stated on his LinkedIn profile. In 2015, the Curry Lounge changed ownership, with Raz exiting the business and selling his share to Safdar Azim. Under Safdar, the restaurant would continue to operate. To the best of my knowledge, Raz didn't provide a public statement as to why he was stepping down at that point. It would come to light, though, that Raz was being investigated by the UK tax authorities, the HM Revenue and Customs, after a series of unusual tax returns. The Curry Lounge's tax returns were scrutinized alongside its bank statements and card payment records, revealing that sales figures were being understated on VAT submissions. When HMRC officials confronted Raz about the discrepancies, he tried to conceal his wrongdoing by presenting counterfeit bank statements. However, his deception was uncovered after authorities obtained accurate financial data directly from the banks. The Assistant Director of Fraud Investigation Services at HMRC said, Razak first tried reality TV to keep his restaurant going, then crime, and both failed. Raz, who sold the restaurant in October 2015, admitted evading £44,000 in VAT and falsely claiming £20,000 in tax repayments. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison, suspended for 2 years. He has agreed to make repayments for the remaining £20,000. It wasn't long after that the Curry House would close its doors for good. In 2018, it changed hands to become a new Indian restaurant called Tandoor. The new owner vowed to keep the interior the same as the Curry House, as well as continue on with the tiffin boxes. Tandoor didn't last very long. Just a year after opening in that space, the premises were seized by the landlords. A lease forfeiture notice was taped to the eatery's windows with a deadline for the owners to collect their possessions before they were sold by the bailee. The location then became Casa Italian, a seafood restaurant. It still operates today and has excellent reviews online. As for what happened to Chef Khan after the Curry Lounge, according to his LinkedIn profile, he has worked in a variety of executive chef positions since then, mostly in Manchester as well as Bradford. As for the rest of the staff, including the head waitress, I hope they've done well post the Curry Lounge. Raz himself seems to have gone quiet after his tax fraud conviction. There isn't really much news of him after that. His LinkedIn still lists him as on a break. I hope wherever he is today, he's doing well though.